Oh, I want to tell you a little bit more about the group I was in. So what happened in the group is the group turned into a mommy and me group, if you can believe it. I think there were about 8 members that we had, and we all became mothers in different ways. And so that was kind of exciting, just to learn about all the different ways that one could be a mother. We had people that became mothers through ovum and sperm donor. We had people that one woman became a mother through surrogacy. And she's an amazing woman. She's actually a storyteller. She's a very kind of a famous storyteller named Vicki Juditz, and she tells her story about going through infertility, and she has a lot of other stories too. She speaks, does her storytelling through tasty words. If you want to look her up, she's incredible, an incredible performer. And so that's how she became a mother, and she was in our group. And there were women that became mothers through in vitro. I was one of those women. And we had women that adopted. We had women that, we had one woman, we had women that became mothers through insemination, IUI. And one woman was in the group, and she had secondary infertility, which means that she conceived her first child easily, but the second child was more difficult, and she was going through different treatment cycles, and then her doctor was not available during her fertile time, and she actually ended up conceiving on her own. So that was pretty amazing. So all of our babies came to us in different ways. But what we realized when we became a Mommy and Me group was that that was really secondary when we went on about the business of becoming a mother. And so that was a really powerful awareness that I think I really want to share with you, is that it's really getting clear about what is your ultimate goal too. That's part of what's going to be part of your treatment plan. If your ultimate goal is to have a baby, period, through any means, and you're clear about that, then you have a lot of different options. Some people get very clear that they just want to have a baby that has their own genetic material. Other people are willing to adopt, willing to use surrogacy, willing to utilize embryo donation. So these are all different options. And sperm donation, egg donation. And so this is part of what I explore with individuals, couples, and then also in the group, is choice making, because there are a lot of choices. Going through this process is, it's fraught with so many choices that people don't need to decide. You know, when I was going through this process, I knew a few different people that had accidents, that they had oopsies and accidents, and they weren't even married. And so their process was so unconscious. And I remember hearing a story about a woman who didn't even know she was pregnant, and then she ended up giving birth on her porch. And it just was like astounding to me, like, oh my God, how could that happen? I mean, I'm going through all these infertility treatments, and I'm constantly checking my mucus and my cycle and so on. And this woman's so unconscious. So what happens is you become very aware and conscious, and you have a lot of choices to make, which is very stressful. So having that support is very, very critical as you go along the way, having other people that are informed about the choices that you have to make, and then they're also going through similar choices. So this is the value of doing, getting the therapeutic support or the consult support, is having that resource, because it's a really, really stressful time. And going back to the group that I was in, it was really the silver lining. These women that I met are, to this day, the majority of them, my best friends. We went through so much together that we formed a bond. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and pain is very bonding. And so these women are my friends. Our children are friends. It's amazing. Our children are friends. Our husbands are friends. They're family friends. We have gone through so much together. We went through infertility, and then, like I said, the group became a mommy and me. And then we went through babyhood, toddlerhood, school-aged children, teenagers. That was fun. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Now we have young adults that are in college, and we are still connected. And these women and these families are some of my best and dearest. So that was a silver lining of my dark cloud. And actually, in the groups, that's really my vision for the groups. And it's so beautiful for me and so fulfilling, because that's what's happened. I've been running the groups now for 15 years, and these families, these women check in with me and just tell me, that they've talked to so-and-so, and this one's kid just graduated. And I mean, that's my vision. And that's the beauty, is that you can form these connections that will be your village as you go through all of these ages and stages. So I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking I better start talking about sex, because I'm going to be running out of time here soon. So let's just highlight that, because I have given you some solutions and coping methods and problem solving. And so here's the thing with sex. Like the sex therapist said, I mean, this whole going through infertility is really counterintuitive to having an exciting and a spicy sex life. So the key is that one of the main keys is that you take breaks from trying to conceive a child, which seems very counterintuitive, because I know how passionate we can get about wanting to have a child. But sometimes that focus and that passion can be very, very damaging to us individually, and very damaging to our relationship. Sometimes, a lot of times going through infertility is like running a marathon, and you really do need to pace yourself. You need to take breaks. You need to take sips of water, get some sort of so that you can make it all the way through. So that's why taking breaks is really, really important. Also, too, if you have a miscarriage, I mean, physically, sometimes that can be part of this process, unfortunately. And physically, you need to take a break. And a lot of times, the doctors will support and encourage you to continue the treatment cycle and just to keep going. But I really want to encourage you to really check in with yourself and know that it's okay to take a breather and a break. And actually, one of the things that's going on right now, that for years that I talk about with my individuals, couples, and my group, is that really one of the most difficult times to go through a treatment cycle is December. And so it's really about taking a break and not cycling in December, because December is such a action-filled month, a stressful month of so many different activities and parties, and so really, really important to not have the additional pressure of going through a treatment cycle. And a lot of times, doctors' offices have times when they're shut down, and other businesses that support the fertility community are closed because of the holidays. So it's just a really good month to take a break and just focus on celebrating that feels good to you. And I'm just going to side note that a little bit further, because we are approaching the holidays. And don't worry, I'll get back to sex. So side note on the holidays, there is a saying that comes from the 12-step community that is HALT. And it stands for never get too hungry, too angry, too lonely, or too tired. And so during the holidays, it's really a recipe for all of those things. We don't necessarily regularly feed ourselves because we're very busy doing all the extra tasks that the holidays bring about to our already busy lives. And we may be hungry for other things other than food. Maybe we need some quiet time, some meditation time, and to, it's interesting. The holiday time is a time where there's a lot of anger. I live on a main street, and I avoid that street because the driving on that street during the holidays is really angry and dangerous. Because I think we just get stressed out because we've got so many things to do and not enough time to do it. Lonely is, we can be lonely amongst all of the parties and the crowds and so on. And tired goes without saying. So when we're going through infertility, we have all of these experiences too, because again, we're in a situation that most people don't experience. We have busy lives. And so going through infertility is like a full-time job. And so that is an overlay on top of what we're already doing. So it's really a great tool, a great check-in tool for the holidays or for just really any time, is to check in with yourself and just ask yourself, how am I doing? What am I feeling right now? Am I hungry, angry, lonely? One of those things. Do what you need to do to practice self-care and to take care of yourself in those arenas. So taking a break. So I recommend taking a break around the holidays, and just checking in and just taking a break when you're feeling like you're at the end of your rope. So when you take a break, this is how the sex part ties in. So when you're taking a break from a treatment cycle, it's really a good idea to completely take a break and not do anything that would result in a pregnancy. So you're going to give yourself and your husband, your partner, the month off. And you are not going to do anything sexual that would result in a possible pregnancy. Off the emotional roller coaster, and you're going to have fun. So that's a time when you just do sexual things for fun. You surprise one another. You can go to, there's amazing stores, or you can go online and get some toys and some negligees. Victoria's Secret's amazing. I love that store. So it's fun to maybe take a trip over there, or go online yourself with your partner and pick some things out, some toys, some lotions, some potions, some lingerie, and just create this fun haven for yourself, and reconnect with one another in a way that is not results driven, which is so counter to sexual desire. So I recommend that. Victoria's Secret's wonderful. There's a place for those of you that are local in Ventura called Aphrodite's. Love that place. It is designed for women. They have lingerie downstairs. You go upstairs, and that's where they have all the toys, and they'll help you, pick out what you need to enjoy sexuality for yourself with your partner. So this is what I highly recommend, is that you reconnect with yourself and you reconnect with your partner just for pleasure, just for fun, and you take a break from that emotional roller coaster of sexuality. Getting away, planning a trip, taking a bath together, just the things that you really enjoy. Buying yourself lotions and potions, and really exploring, different scents that you like that make you feel sexy, which is actually, aroma is the most direct route to the brain. And so we have these positive associations with aroma. And so that's a really important component. And actually, it's part of the creating a positive intention conception, which is a multi-sensory approach. And scent is part of that. I actually had a woman in my practice who had a negative association with her doctor's office. She ended up needing to she went through a fertility cycle, and she had a pregnancy loss, and had to do a D&C. And the doctor's office got new carpeting during this time frame. And she, after she completed her D&C, she did not return to the doctor's office, because every time she smelled that smell, it reminded her of her loss. So you can see how powerful these associations are, how we couple them with positive and negative experiences. So you want to use the aroma that is coupled with positive experiences, so you can create that positive environment. And with regard to sexuality, you pick an aroma that is that makes you feel sexy. An interesting note: research has shown that women like the smell of baby powder and baby lotion. They consider that sexy. So that's really tied back to fertility. And I think men, the number one fragrance for men is vanilla. So do your own research on that, but really allow yourself that break, and really allow yourself to get into that whole sensuality experience, reconnect back with what that is for you and what that is for your partner. So I think that I've kind of given a topical overview of the different things that I wanted to talk about. So I think what I will do is turn this back over to Denise.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, you too.